China's nationwide pay cuts and layoffs, state-owned enterprises struggle outside monopolies. Almost 100 million children left behind in China. Los Angeles Chinese blamed the CCP for the tragedy. Chinese children's products found to contain carcinogens exceeding standards by 55.6 times. Anticommunist Alliance expands. AUKUS plans to invite Japan to join. It's all covered in today's China Truths. China's nationwide pay cuts and layoffs, state-owned enterprises struggle outside monopolies. The Chinese economy is currently undergoing significant stress, evidenced by widespread layoffs and salary reductions across various sectors. Similarly, state-owned enterprises and government departments are feeling the impact, with cuts to long-standing benefits and increased layoffs. Analysts highlight that these economic issues are being aggravated by unfavorable economic predictions and government policies that have deterred investments, forecasting a potential escalation in layoffs and further economic downturn. Concurrently, employees of state-owned enterprises, SOEs, and civil servants in China are facing the erosion of their once secure iron rice bowls, a term used to describe guaranteed lifetime employment. The ongoing economic difficulties have led to widespread reductions in salaries and some instances of unpaid wages. Surveys conducted nationwide indicate severe financial shortages within these organizations, forcing significant cuts in salaries and benefits, and in some cases, demanding the return of previously awarded benefits. According to reports from Epoch Times, these conditions are widespread, affecting a variety of public and private sector workers throughout the nation. Aside from monopolistic sectors that rely on government financial support, other industries and enterprises are in dire straits. Salaries and bonuses for civil servants are also delayed. In a normal economic environment, civil servant salaries should only increase, not decrease, but the current widespread benefit cuts highlight the severe economic pressures China is facing. A civil servant from Wuwei, Gansu, Mr. Zhang, mentioned that benefits for government employees have been largely eliminated, except in departments like the Tax Bureau, Finance Bureau, National Security Bureau, and Public Security Bureau. He noted that Baiyun City in Gansu Province has begun to reclaim previously issued benefits, essentially requiring the return of these benefits. Wuwei is also rumored to be implementing this policy soon. Public data shows that as of 2022, China had 7.1 million civil servants, and together with party members, labor unions, and women's federations, the total reaches 13 million. The public sector employs 31 million people, totaling about 44 million. According to China's National Bureau of Statistics in 2022, the total employed population is 854 million. In this vast workforce, approximately 17% are within the system. Broadly defined, civil servants make up about 9% of the total national population. This means that if you randomly ask 100 people if they work within the system, about 9 would say yes. Netizens have commented that the root cause of unpaid wages for civil servants and teachers is systemic corruption, along with inefficiencies and high operational costs within the system. Indeed, since 2021, there has been a trend of collective salary reductions for civil servants across various provinces and cities in mainland China. In July last year, it was reported that civil servants in Guangdong, a major economic province, were also included in the salary cuts, with reductions up to 25%, sparking heated discussions among Chinese netizens. On July 9, 2023, NetEase News reported that Guangdong, the leading economic province with the highest GDP in China in 2022, decided to implement a collective 25% salary cut for civil servants. Although this news was reported, the government did not respond or clarify. Analysts suggest that the salary cuts are due to the collapse of the real estate market, which has prevented the government from acquiring substantial revenue through land sales. Almost 100 million children left behind in China. Los Angeles Chinese blamed the CCP for the tragedy. Education is a major concern for Chinese parents. Research shows that in 2020, over 100 million children in China were separated from their parents for various reasons. About 90 million of these were left behind children affected by people moving for work, making up almost 30% of all children in China. These children often grow up without proper care or emotional support from their parents, which can lead to severe psychological problems. A recent horrific event in Handan, Hebei, saw 3 left-behind children involved in the killing of another child. What's causing this issue of left-behind children in China? At a rally in Los Angeles last Saturday, Chinese immigrant parents shared their experiences, blaming the Communist Party for these tragedies. Event host Zhang Jinjin said, "We're here to protest for the left-behind children who are deprived of parental love, for our stolen childhoods, and against the Communist Party's use of our love for children as a tool to make money." Zhang Jinjin, who moved to America, was initially worried about school enrollment for his child. He was surprised to find out that in America, children could go to school simply by showing up with a birth certificate and a rental agreement, no need for property ownership or other requirements that are common in China. Li Wei, another immigrant from Anhui, shared that in China, even if parents live next to a school, their children might not be able to attend if they don't own the property. However, in America, he found no such barriers. Participants pointed out that in China, the requirement to own property or fulfill other criteria to enroll children in local schools is a tragedy that affects millions of left-behind children. By contrast, in America, even as foreigners, they face no such restrictions. Zhang Jinjin highlighted that in mainland China, basic human rights like living with parents and getting an education are denied under various pretexts, like not owning property or lacking local social security. He added, "The Communist Party claims to value education, but really, they use it to make money." Li Guangming, a member of the China Democracy Party, stated that the right to education and the freedom to migrate are fundamental human rights, yet the CCP has created countless shackles for the Chinese people using the household registration system, property rights, and children's education, significantly undermining the CCP's legal provision for compulsory education for children. Wang Zhongwei, another member of the China Democracy Party who organized the event, pointed out the shocking issue of left-behind children, a social tragedy artificially created by the CCP's dual urban-rural system. He said, "Parents cannot provide their children with the right to education where they work, cannot live with their children, and cannot enjoy the joy of family togetherness. This is the evil of the system." Looking just from the perspective of left-behind children today, the CCP does not qualify as a competent party. It does not deserve to govern such a large country as China, nor does it have the capability to manage the country well. It should step down. Chinese children's products found to contain carcinogens exceeding standards by 55.6 times. The Korea Times reported that in one children's leather bag sold on AliExpress, 4 types of phthalates were found to exceed the safe limit by 55.6 times. Phthalates, mainly used as plasticizers, pose risks of infertility, and one of the phthalates, DHP, is classified as a carcinogenic substance by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Besides the leather bag, South Korea also found severe excesses of toxic substances in other AliExpress products, including a swimming ring, a baby walker, and 2 children's teething toys. For example, the phthalate levels in the swimming ring were 33 times over the limit, and the product did not meet South Korean standards, posing safety risks. This is not the first time Korean authorities have found issues with safety risks from Chinese e-commerce products. In February, carcinogenic heavy metals were detected in Chinese counterfeit goods at levels 930 times over the limit. Chinese e-commerce platforms like AliExpress and Pinduoduo's international version, Temu, have been rapidly expanding globally with low-priced products. However, the influx of low-quality Chinese products is consuming retail markets in the United States and South Korea. However, the issue with cheap Chinese products has also raised alarms. In February, South Korean authorities released an investigation report indicating that Chinese counterfeit goods contain carcinogenic heavy metals posing serious health threats. This isn't the first concern raised about safety with Chinese online goods. Earlier, heavy metals were found in counterfeit products at extremely high levels. The growing presence of low-priced Chinese products in markets like the US and South Korea raises concerns about quality and safety. Recently, South Korean customs seized over 142,000 counterfeit items, mostly from China, including clothes and toys. Some products like fake designer earrings contain dangerous levels of cadmium and lead. Li Yuanhua, a former associate professor of historical education at Capital Normal University in China and an expert on Chinese issues, stated that many Chinese products are priced very low not only because they infringe or steal intellectual property but also because they use banned or toxic substances to reduce costs, often producing shoddy goods that deceive consumers. Li emphasized that countries should enact regulations, eliminate tariff exemptions, and enforce checks and testing on online purchased products to prevent low-quality, toxic Chinese products from reaching consumers globally. It is understood that 48.7% of goods purchased overseas by individual consumers in South Korea last year originated from China. As of February this year, AliExpress had 8.18 million active monthly users in South Korea, making it the second largest online marketplace after the local e-commerce company Kuan. The Seoul city government plans to expand its inspection scope to 2 other Chinese e-commerce platforms, Pinduoduo's Temu and the fast fashion brand Shine, and will publish weekly inspection results and open a hotline for consumer complaints about overseas products. Anticommunist Alliance expands, AUKUS plans to invite Japan to join. In recent years, the Chinese Communist Party's provocations in the Indo-Pacific region have been escalating, causing unease in the international community. British media recently disclosed that the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia are preparing to expand their alliance by collaborating with Japan to counter the Chinese Communist Party. On April 7, the Financial Times quoted insiders stating that the defense ministers of the US, UK, and Australia will announce on April 8 the initiation of expansion talks related to the second pillar of the AUKUS agreement. The AUKUS agreement, a military alliance between the US, UK, and Australia, is an accord reached by these nations as a measure to counter the Chinese Communist Party in the Indo-Pacific region. Reports indicate that as the Chinese Communist Party's provocations in the Indo-Pacific have intensified in recent years, some U.S. officials are pushing for Japan to join the AUKUS agreement to collectively resist China's military expansion. Wu Surti, a researcher at the Taiwan Cross-Strait Policy Association, mentioned that involving Japan would be a significant step, enhancing the alliance's capabilities in advanced and maritime technologies. This expansion reflects a broader concern about China's influence not only in specific areas like the Taiwan Strait but globally. The AUKUS agreement has 2 main pillars. The first pillar primarily involves providing Australia with nuclear-powered submarines. The second focuses on collaboration in new technologies such as quantum computing, underwater military capabilities, hypersonic weapons, and artificial intelligence. Reports state that the US, UK, and Australia are not considering expanding the first pillar but are initiating negotiations focused on the second pillar. Last week, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Kurt Campbell said at an event at the Center for a New American Security, CNAS, in Washington that the second pillar of the AUKUS agreement might incorporate more Indo-Pacific partners. Campbell also stated that AUKUS's submarine capabilities would help deter the Chinese Communist Party from taking any actions against Taiwan. U.S. Ambassador to Japan, Rahm Emanuel, wrote last week in the Wall Street Journal that Japan would become a partner in the second pillar of AUKUS, though he did not reveal when this would be officially announced. Su Ziyun, director of the Institute of National Defense and Security Research at Taiwan's National Defense University, the next step is that Japan and the Philippines might also become partners, meaning the Indo-Pacific region is becoming a multifaceted deterrence area, which was originally based on bilateral defense like US-Australia, US-Philippines, US-Japan, US-Korea. These were all bilateral, and now it's gradually integrating. On April 5, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said in an interview with foreign media that no formal decision has yet been made on how Japan will cooperate with AUKUS in the future. However, he emphasized, to achieve a free and open Indo-Pacific, we are willing to continue making various efforts and strengthen cooperation with the US, Australia, and the UK, who are important partners in security and defense. Su Ziyun, so now the anti-communist trend is largely set, representing some military deployments, but behind this represents a larger significance, which is to prevent the expansion of the CCP's authoritarian regime, exporting their one-party dominance, one-person dictatorship political system, which is the real reason behind this. Kishida will visit the U.S. on April 10, where the leaders of the two countries will discuss the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty, marking the largest-scale upgrade since its signing in 1960. The two countries may also discuss Japan's involvement in the AUKUS. The following day, Biden will host a historic trilateral summit with Japan and the Philippines and will also hold a bilateral summit with Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Experts believe that the AUKUS alliance might include more cooperative partners in the future. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.